Hello fellow data analysts. In this video really quickly I'll demonstrate how you can use the filter feature on Tableau to apply filters to your variables. So to begin with, there are many ways you can filter. You can apply filter to your variable. Either it's a discrete variable or a measure variable. Either way, you can apply filter. Although the way you use filter for each of these categories are different, which I'll explain in a minute. So to begin with, let's just draw, let's just create a cross tab here with the list of names of countries, and let's just add the GDP nominal here, and also let's just sort it from ascending all the way to lowest. So now that we have a list of country names with their GDP measures, let's see if we can apply a filter. So there are several ways you can do it. We can either do it through by right-clicking on the name of the variable that we brought onto the shelf. By right-clicking, clicking on Show Filter. We can also do it by dragging onto a filter, or we can also do it by dragging the same variable from this tab here onto the filter, or right click on it and clicking on Show Filter. So there are so many ways you can apply filter to a variable. So I would just right click on the shelf, on the variable that's on the shelf, and click on right, and then click on Show Filter. So once you filtered information, it's going to give you a complete list of all the distinct variables that are present in that variable, distinct values that are present in a variable. So as you can see, we have values of a variety of country names. So if we uncheck the all, it's going to remove all the filter, and we're going to lose all the values from our worksheet. So each filter is applied will show the result on your sheet. So we can change the format of the filtering by clicking on this check here, and then let's say this first single value list. Single value list allows you to select one value at a time. As you can see, Brazil, Canada, Chile. And the next one is the single value drop down. It's the same thing as the single value list, except that it's drop down, so you can also use that. Next one is single value slider. Sliders are not used in categorical variable like these. It has more applicability with measures, like quantitative numbers, stuff like that. So multiple value list is where it allows you to select multiple values when one filter. And you can also use multiple value drop down, same thing as the value list, except it's drop down, so a little fancier. And the other one is multiple values customs list. So the only difference with the drop-down list, multiple values drop-down list, is that this allows you to search. So let's say if you want to search for Chile, you'll just you will write Chile, and then you click on a magnifying button. It's going to show you the country Chile, and it will add here. So it allows you to be able to not only select from the drop-down list or the values list, but it also allows you to be able to search for them in case. This is very, very useful, especially when you have a list of thousands of millions of values. So, and then the last one, the most important one, is the wildcard match. So the wildcard match again is when you are doing a wildcard search. Wildcard search is a type of search that does not really limit your search to one index or first index or the last index or the middle of the index. It will search within the cell, within the variable, anything that matches your search criteria. In our case, let's say if you put Argentina or Gentine, is going and click on enter, is going to show us Argentina. So anything that includes or matches the word Gentine is going to come in a wildcard search. Wildcard search is a very, very useful search feature in any sort of advanced search mechanisms that you need to know, and each tool has their own way of conducting wildcard search. While Tableau has made that easy, that you don't have to put any code or any stars, anything like that, to do wildcard search. Simply just put the character that you would like to do the wildcard search on. So that was pretty much the filter and how you can actually select from a variety of filters here. and this allows you to apply your filter to the entire worksheet or entire or only one sheet. So this is important as well. Something important is that you can also apply a primary filter. You can also apply a secondary filter. So let's say if we have a so remove this filter for a second. If we have one filter, country names, and if we would like to have a second filter, excuse me, if we have a country names, and if you want to apply a second filter, let's say measure names. I think that's like a wrong example. GDP nominal filter. Simply click on show filter. So now you have two filters. Where one is the primary, next one is secondary. So just remember that filter in Tableau also allows you to add multiple layers of filtering, which can make it easy to narrow down on what you would like to project here on your dashboard, on your sheet. So, and then lastly, you can also filter on the measures, as I said earlier. You know, our filter on country names is on categorical variable. Our filter and measures will be filter on quantitative variable. In our case, GDP nominal is a quantitative variable. So click on show filter, and you would see it here. You won't see a drop down list just like the categorical variable where you select from the categories that you'd like to apply the filter on. And instead, you will see a slider like this, and the sliders are the best way to assign between two intervals of your measure. So if we were to use drop down, a drop down is not available for measure variable because you know it's almost impossible to let's say if you have a 1 million record values, it's impossible to go through value list or drop down list for those 1 million records and select distinct record that you would like. Therefore, sliders are the best tools or the best methods to use for each time that you filter measures. In our case, you know, let's say if you want to filter between two specific GDP, then it's going to appear the filter there for you. So if you say give me any GDP which is between 4 and 5 and let's say 9, there's nothing. So let's say between 5 and 12 is China, and anything above that should be US included. So I think in this case where I think in this case I think the best way is to use at least or at most. At least allows you to filter from the least to the maximum. So you could say give me anything that's from 2 trillion up to, like, let's say anything that's above 5 trillion. So that would be the US and China. Or you could say give me anything that's above 2 trillion. That will be a bunch of countries. And you can do also at most, which again it drills down from the maximum toward the minimum. So or from the highest, drills from the highest toward the lowest. So you could say give me filter me the categories where the measures are, let's say below 8 trillion, or let's say below 1 trillion. So let's say 830 billion. In that case, these are the countries where the GDP is the lowest. Or the lowest one below 219 billion is, which you just saw, is Portugal. So I think that's it for the filtering. You can also you can always extend your filtering ability to more advanced search engines and filters and parameters using the parameters, and I'll have separate videos on those. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you so much for your time.